Namaste. Welcome back to another important topic of our English class. Today we are going to discuss how to write a character sketch. And you all know character sketch is an important topic in your final examination. In your examination you may ask to write any one of the characters in your chapters. So first of all, let's look the key points. While writing a character sketch, you should remember the important key points. These points you should remember. First one, you should understand the chapter and the characters thoroughly. That means you should recall the text and identify the characters. Next point, you should describe the role and significance of that character. And you should mention the role of that character in that chapter and importance of that character. The third point, you should describe the physical features of that character and appearance of that character. That means you should mention his hairstyle and his skin color, hair color, all those things. Okay, it may mention in that chapter. You should mention those things, physical features in your character sketch. Next one, you should explain the manners, behaviors or likes and dislikes of that characters. So some mannerism of that character, it may given in that chapter. You should mention the mannerism, his mannerisms and behaviors, likes and dislikes of that character. Next one, fifth one, you should mention his relationship with the other characters. Final point, you should mention the main incidents related to that character in that chapter. You should mention that. So these 6 points, while writing a character sketch, you should remember all these 6 points. Now let's look the character sketch of the boy and the grandfather in the chapter Adventures in a Banyan Tree.
From the chapter Adventures in a Banyan Tree, you may ask to write the character sketch of the boy or the grandfather. Now let's look the character sketch of the boy. So at first you should introduce the character and the chapter, name of the chapter at first, in the first sentence itself. So we can begin like this. The boy is the central character in the story Adventures in a Banyan Tree. He is a great lover of books and nature. In his grandpa's garden, there is an old magnificent banyan tree. The boy has made a tree his domain and built a platform halfway up the tree where he spends his afternoons reading books. This is a major incident or major event in that story. So you should mention these things in your character sketch. While writing the character sketch of that boy, you should mention these things. Then, he likes various kinds of books including adventurous stories and novels. Whenever he is not in a mood of reading, he sits on the platform and enjoys the sights and sounds in nature. And he loves all the creatures in nature and likes to have pet animals. These main features, so you should mention this. He has made friendship with one of the squirrels living in the banyan tree, which dwells into his pocket and takes food from him. He has also made a white rat his pet, which his grandfather bought from the bazaar. He often takes this white rat to the banyan tree and it mates with one of the squirrels there, and this is also one of the major incidents in that story which is related to that boy. That is why it is mentioning here. Thus the squirrel gives birth to 3 white baby squirrels. The boy and his grandparents are in the thrill of having this nature's rarest gift, a wonderful family in nature. The boy is proud of the white rat, the father, the grey squirrel, the mother and the 3 white baby squirrel. The boy is proud of the white rat, the father, the grey squirrel, the mother, and the three white baby squirrels. So this is the character sketch of the boy. Next, have a look on the character sketch of our grandfather. The grandfather in the story, Adventures in a Banyan Tree, is a 65-year-old man. So you should give a brief introduction to that character and you should mention the name of the chapter. And he lives happily with his wife and their grandson in their house. He has made an English model garden near his house. In the garden, there is a huge banyan tree which is older than him, and that sentence is clearly mentioned in that chapter, in that story, in the first paragraph itself. So you should mention that information in your while writing the character sketch of grandfather. You should mention that. Next, he is 65 years old and he cannot climb the trees now. His wife often teases him about this, and he is very loving and caring towards his grandson, and at the same time fond of nature and its creatures. He maintains his garden well and sometimes talks and complains to the plants growing there. He is happy to hear that the mongoose has won in the fight with the cobra, and he wants the mongoose to be there in his garden to keep snakes away. He is a man who loves pets. That's why he bought that rat from the bazaar. So that incident shows that he is very fond of pet animal. So it shows his characteristic feature. You should mention that. He is a man who loves pets. Once he brings home a white rat which he bought from the bazaar. He amuses himself with it and at the same time wants to make his grandson happy. He seems to be a happy man as he gets enough delight and relief in his old age from his pet animals and plants in the garden. He lives comfortably with his wife and grandson, loving and caring nature.
So I hope you all understood the format of character sketch and what are the key main points we need to remember while writing a character sketch. So thank you and see you soon.